And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Howdy folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Brikks. Brikks is designed by Wolfgang Warsch, who is really well known, burst onto the scene last year with Ganz schön clever, the Quacks of Quedlinburg, and The Mind, and has done many things. But his roll and write game, Ganz schön clever and then twice as clever, the roll and write games where you roll dice and then write onto a pad. Well, now this is another one in that series. This one's called Brikks, spelled B-R-I-K-K-S for no reason at all. When you look at Brikks, and the game here says, with a familiar theme, no kidding. You're dropping shapes onto a board, and these shapes have 4 squares each in various patterns. This isn't Tetris, though. It's Brikks. Here's how it plays. So this is a roll and write game, and so you have this sheet here, and you're going to be using 2 sheets when you play. This is the front and this is the back, so each player will have 2 sheets in front of them. You're going to start, each player is going to pick a different brick from the first row and fill it in somewhere on the bottom. So let's say I pick this one here. No, I'll take the square actually. So I take the square and fill in those spots here. Each player also starts with energy. You'll start with less energy if you're playing with less than 3 or 4 players. Then one person's going to go first. On a person's turn, they're going to roll the dice. So here they get 1 red. If they don't like what they've rolled, they can re-roll both dice, but you must re-roll both of them. So here they rolled a 2 black, so 2 black. Everyone puts a token on that one to show the symbol that they must drop into their thing. That works for me. So they drop in from the top, just like Tetris, and here I'll put it right here, putting the X's on that spot. If for some reason, let's say the next person drops a 1 yellow, and I don't like that 1 yellow, I have a couple of options. One, I can use a bomb to blow it up. That means I don't put it on my sheet at all. However, at the end of the game, I will not get 1 point that I would have gotten from not using that bomb. I could also use some of my energy to move this over back and forth, left and right, basically rotating the piece. So maybe I just want to use 1 energy to move it over and drop it in like this here. Now I'm doing this because let's say this white 1 was played. If I drop that piece right here, you'll notice there was a white dot there. If you cover up a dot with the color piece that matches that dot, then you will get 2 energy. So that's a way to get energy, and every time your energy gets to one of these X's, you'll mark an X here on the sheet, and the more X's that you mark, the more bonus points you will get at the end of the game. Now if while you're dropping a piece in, so let's say I drop in this piece like this, I completely fill 2 or more rows, then I'm going to get bonus X's. 2 rows completed at the same time gives me 1 X, 3 rows would give me 2 X's, and 4 rows would give me 4 X's. Of course, that can only be done one way, by dropping this straight line down there. If you can also, when dropping a piece, you can slide it over underneath something if it fits, just like the rules of Tetris. But there will be times where maybe you won't be able to fit something in. So maybe I drop something like this. Now I'm not going to finish this row. When you can no longer drop a piece in, you're out of the game and you're done, and everyone else keeps playing till everyone's finished. You will then score each row here. If every X is finished in that row will get you 5 points. If there's 1 missing, you'll get 2 points. If there's 2 missing, you'll get 1 point. If there's more of that missing, you'll get none. The ones in these orange rows will give you double points for having them completely filled, and the one in the top row will give you quadruple points, and you'll write those there. You'll then add all these points together, plus your bonus down here, wherever that is, and whoever has the most points is the winner. The energy itself doesn't do anything for you except giving you X's for here. You can spend energy to move on this board to the right and left, or you can spend 5 energy when someone rolls something to move it anywhere on the board and pick any piece you want. The components for this game are fine. It's your typical roll and write game. You got the sheets here, a nice big pad of them. Of course, as in any game like this, I'm going to laminate 4 of them and use erasable markers so I don't have to keep wasting paper on this. They got these little chips here, these little clear chips. They could have been a little bigger and 4-sided and a 6-sided die. They're okay, and it comes with these little markers, which is a interesting change from using pencils. But yeah, it's okay. It's basically your typical components for a roll and write game. Well, all right. So again, this is Tetris in every way imaginable. You're dropping shapes down. You're trying to complete lines. In fact, there's a 2-player variant in the rulebook where you just try to eliminate the other person, make the other person go out. Everything else doesn't matter. That's Tetris. I mean, they literally could have called this Tetris the roll and write game. And funnily enough, this is not the only game that uses Tetris as its theme. It's at least the second. I want to say there's 3, and it's definitely not the only board game that uses Tetris as its theme. There is at least 10 or more of those. This works for what it is. It's Tetris. You drop the shapes down. I just don't know that it's that interesting. I would rather play Tetris. There are a lot of roll and write games out there. Ganz schön clever, which was Wolfgang Warsch's, and Twice as Clever. Both offer some interesting ideas where you take numbers and try to fill in rows, and they're very abstract games with no theme at all, but they have some cool puzzles that you haven't seen before. Brikks you've seen before. It's Tetris. Okay, that's fine, and we're humming them doo 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 doo, as you drop the pieces down. But the excitement about Tetris was that it gets faster and faster. That doesn't happen here. There's some interesting things where you can spend energy to move the dice around, but for the most part, every time I've done this, board looks the same. It doesn't look like they're doing that much different than anyone else did at any other given time. It's kind of an inoffensive game. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's okay. Here's the problem. There's a lot of roll and write games out there, including from this designer, and his other ones are fantastic. This one is okay. Not bad, but not great, and entirely forgettable. Now, if you know someone who loves Tetris, you can get it for them. I'm trying to explain to them why it's called Brikks instead. And they might like it for a while. I don't think it has any kind of staying power. I don't think I'm going to sit there and want to play game after game after game after this. I think you see it all in your first game, honestly. But, this is the hot trend right now, these roll and write games. So some people are going to like this because they like this genre as a whole. And those are pretty much the only people I'd recommend it to. Everyone else, there are better ones out there. Dice Tower Judgment, it's Tetris!